Ever wondered how to capture breathtaking shots of the Milky Way? In this video, I'm diving into the secrets of planning and shooting night sky photography. I'll cover everything from finding the perfect dark sky location to dialing in your camera settings, focusing techniques, and composing your shot. Plus, I'll explore the importance of weather, using astrophotography apps, and post-processing. By the end, you'll have all the tools that you need to shoot stunning Milky Way photos. So grab your camera and let's get started. Let's start with the most critical aspect of Milky Way photography, location and timing. To capture the Milky Way in all its glory, you need to escape light pollution. This means heading out to remote areas or dark sky reserves where artificial light is minimal. Using resources like Light Pollution Map or apps like Dark Sky Finder can help you identify these spots. Aim for locations that are at least 20 to 30 miles away from city lights to maximize your chances of capturing clear view of the night sky. Timing is just as crucial. You'll want to aim for a night with a new moon or when the moon is below the horizon to avoid light interference. The Milky Way is best visible between late spring and early fall, with the times varying depending on your location and the season. For that, it's helpful to use an app like PhotoPills to track the Milky Way's position throughout the night and even plan your shots around other celestial events. Planning your shoot ahead of time means you can set up and be ready when the stars come out to play, ensuring you don't miss that perfect moment. With the location in mind, let's explore how weather conditions can impact your shoot. Clear skies are a must for Milky Way photography, so you'll need to check the weather forecast before heading out. Apps like Clear Outside and Weather Underground can give you a detailed forecast of cloud cover and atmospheric conditions. Additionally, if you're in the US, you can use the NOAA GOES satellites to see cloud cover at the current time. You'll want to look for nights with minimal cloud cover and low humidity for the best visibility. However, clouds can add to the photo if they don't fully block the Milky Way. It's also worth checking the wind conditions, as high winds can make it difficult to set up your gear and may introduce unwanted vibrations that affect image quality. But it's not just about avoiding clouds and wind. Humidity plays a role too. High humidity and cold temperatures can cause dew to form on your lens, which can lead to blurry images. To combat this, be prepared with lens heaters or anti-fog solutions that can help keep your lens clear throughout your shoot. On particularly humid nights, you might also want to keep your camera and lens in an insulated bag until you're ready to shoot to prevent condensation from forming on your gear. The best nights are those with crisp, clear air and no moisture. That ensures that your shots are sharp and free from haze. Keep an eye on the sky as well. Sometimes the conditions can change rapidly, and being prepared is key to capturing a stunning shot. Knowing when and where to shoot can make all the difference in your results. Hey photographers, if you're passionate about capturing stunning photos and want to stay updated with the latest in camera gear, shooting techniques, and editing tips, hit that subscribe button now. Join my community and take your photography skills to the next level with my in-depth reviews and expert advice. Don't miss out and subscribe today. Once you've got a handle on the weather, it's time to delve into planning your shoot, which can be made easier with the right tools. Preparation is everything in Milky Way photography, and the right apps can be your best ally. PhotoPills is a powerful tool that helps you plan your shoot down to the last detail. It shows you where and when the Milky Way will be visible, allowing you to align it perfectly with your chosen landscape. You can also use features that let you simulate the position of the Milky Way at different times of the year. That ensures that you get the best angle for your shot. Stellarium is another fantastic app for providing a detailed star map to help locate celestial objects and track their movement across the sky. Before you head out, spend some time scouting your location during the day. This way you'll know exactly where to set up when night falls, ensuring you have the right angles and composition in mind. Additionally, consider using a notepad or app to jot down your settings, location details, and any notes about the environment, such as terrain obstacles or potential foreground subjects. This preparation can save you time and frustration later and can help you replicate your results in future shoots. Once you've pinpointed the perfect location and timing, the next step is to ensure you have the right lens. Choosing the right lens can make or break your Milky Way shot. So let's talk about what to look for. You're going to want a wide-angle lens, typically between 14 to 24 millimeters on a full-frame camera, is ideal for capturing more of the sky and landscape in one shot. The wider your lens, the more dramatic your Milky Way images will be, allowing you to convey the vastness of the night sky. A wide-angle lens can also help you create interesting foreground perspectives that draw the viewer's eye toward the stars. A fast aperture like f2.8 or wider is essential for gathering enough light in dark conditions. compositions. If you have multiple lenses, experiment with different focal lengths to see which one suits your style best or your composition. Keep in mind, a good prime lens can often provide superior sharpness and low light performance compared to a zoom lens. Additionally, consider the lens's build quality and weather sealing, especially if you're shooting in varying environmental conditions. Investing in a high-quality lens can greatly enhance your astrophotography experience and the quality of your images. But if you're just starting out, I recommend the Rokinon 14mm f2.8 if you're just not ready to spend a large amount of money yet. Now that you've picked a lens, let's make sure your camera stays rock steady with a good tripod. A sturdy tripod is an absolute must for Milky Way photography. With long exposure times, even the slightest camera shake can ruin an otherwise perfect shot. Invest in a tripod that's stable, durable, and can withstand the elements. You'll want to look for a tripod with adjustable legs and a strong head to keep your camera secure in uneven terrain. When setting up, make sure your tripod is on solid ground and use rocks or other objects to stabilize it if necessary. Consider using a remote shutter release or setting a 2-second timer to avoid any camera movement when pressing the shutter. Some tripods even come with hooks on the center column where you can hang a weight like your camera bag for extra stability, especially on a night when it's windy. Additionally, a ball head for your tripod allows for easier adjustment when composing your shot. This flexibility is crucial when you're trying to align your camera with the Milky Way and your foreground. A good tripod not only holds your camera steady, but it also gives you the confidence to focus on composition and settings without worrying about stability. Having your camera secure lets you experiment with different angles and exposure times without the risk of blurred images. Once you've got a tripod, the next step is to ensure your camera is ready for action. So now let's talk about camera settings, which are vital for capturing the details of the night sky. First, you're going to want to set your aperture as wide as possible, around f2.8 or wider if available on your lens. And that's so that you can allow maximum light into the lens. This wide aperture helps create a beautiful starry background and lets in as much light as possible to capture the details in the Milky Way. Next, you'll want to adjust your shutter speed. You're going to aim for 15 to 30 seconds depending on your focal length. That way you can avoid star trails while capturing enough light. A general rule of thumb is to use the 500 rule, which means to divide 500 by your focal length to get the maximum exposure time without noticeable trails. For example, if you're using a 24mm lens, you should keep your shutter speed under 20 seconds to prevent streaking. But if you want to really dial in your exposure, be sure to check out the spot star feature in photo pills to get the most accurate exposure setting. And finally, crank up your ISO to 6400 up to 10,000 so that you can balance sensitivity and noise. Keep in mind each camera behaves differently, so you'll want to experiment with ISO settings to see what works best for your specific model in order to ensure you capture sharp images without too much grain. Once you get in the field, adjust these settings according to the scene to achieve the best results. With your camera settings dialed in, the next critical aspect to tackle is focus, because capturing sharp stars is essential for a stunning Milky Way shot. Focusing in the dark can be tricky, so let's get it right. Start by switching your lens to manual focus. Autofocus often struggles in low light conditions, leading to images that are fuzzy or blurry. One method of focusing is to use live view on your camera. While in live view, zoom in on a bright star or distant light, then adjust your focus until it's sharp. This step is crucial to ensure that you capture the detail and the beauty of the stars. Be sure to take a few test shots and zoom in on them with your camera's review mode to ensure that your stars are pinpoint sharp before you start your main shoot. Focus is a critical aspect of night photography, so take your time to get it right. Once you've dialed in your focus, make sure your camera remains in manual mode. And if you ever think the focus ring was touched, be sure to check your focus again. Now that your focus is sharp, let's talk about how to compose your shot for maximum impact. Composition can make or break your shot. The Milky Way itself is stunning, but including a compelling foreground element can elevate your image significantly. Look for natural silhouettes like trees, mountains, or even interesting man-made structures that can provide context and depth to your photo. Because the Milky Way is so large, I recommend that if you're using the rule of thirds to compose your image, let your foreground take the bottom third and the Milky Way have the upper 2/3. Additionally, think about how your foreground and the Milky Way interact. Does the scene tell you a story? You might also experiment with different angles and perspectives to find the most impactful shot. If you're near water, try to capture the reflection of the Milky Way in the water. This can add an extra layer of depth and symmetry to your photo. Also, consider the lighting in your scene. Using a flashlight or a subtle light painting can help illuminate the foreground, enhancing an overall composition. Spend time framing your shot, as composition is key to creating visually appealing and memorable images. Don't be afraid to take multiple shots with varying compositions. Sometimes the best shot comes from the unexpected angles. Once you've captured your stunning image, the next step is to enhance it through post-processing. Unfortunately, your shot doesn't end with the click of the shutter. Post-processing is where the magic happens and can truly transform your images. You'll start by reducing noise, especially in the shadows, as long exposures can often introduce unwanted grain. Tools like Adobe Lightroom, Photoshop, and Sequator offer excellent noise reduction capabilities. Focus on the luminance noise, which can be especially pronounced in the darker areas of your image. Next, adjust contrast and clarity to make the Milky Way pop against the night sky. Play with the white balance to bring out the natural colors of the stars in the sky. Color correction is vital, so enhance the blues, purples, and magentas of the Milky Way for a vibrant look. You can also use curves and levels to make further refinement to the tonal range of your image. Don't forget to use local adjustments to emphasize certain areas, such as brightening the foreground without affecting the sky. The goal is to achieve a natural look while still showcasing the beauty of the night sky. If you want to see more about my editing process for the Milky Way, be sure to check out the video link up here. While you're out shooting, it's crucial to keep an eye on your equipment, especially battery life. Shooting in the dark, often in cold conditions, can drain your camera battery faster than you might expect. Because of that, you always want to bring extra batteries and keep them warm in your pocket to extend their life. Cold weather can significantly reduce battery efficiency, so staying prepared is key to ensuring your camera doesn't die mid-shoot. I recommend investing in a battery grip that can hold additional batteries for longer shooting sessions, or if your camera has the ability, use an external power supply. Also, carry a microfiber cloth to keep your lens clean. Dust and condensation can quickly ruin a shot. Consider using a lens hood to protect against dew and stray light that can create unwanted flares in your images. And also, regularly check your gear to ensure everything is functioning well before you shoot. That can include checking your memory cards and ensuring you're formatted and ready to go. Having your equipment in top condition will not only enhance your shooting experience, but also improve the quality of your images, making sure you're always ready to capture stunning photos of the night sky. Finally, let's wrap this up with one of the most important aspects of photography: experimentation and patience. Patience is key in Milky Way photography. Conditions can rapidly change, and it might take several attempts to get the perfect shot. Don't be afraid to experiment by trying different compositions, adjusting your settings, and play with your lighting. You might find that a slight adjustment in an angle or exposure time can lead to a drastically different and more captivating image. Take the time to check your results after a few shots and analyze what worked and what didn't. Sometimes the best shots come from unexpected angles or moments. Keep an open mind and be willing to adapt. You might also want to try different post-processing techniques after your shoot, as some edits can completely transform an image. Remember, Milky Way photography is as much about the journey as the final image. Take your time, enjoy the process, and the results will follow. Cherish the quiet moments spent under the stars. These experiences can lead to a deeper appreciation of both photography and the night sky. Now that you know how to go out and shoot the Milky Way, do you own the right lens? If you shoot Nikon Z mounts, I recommend checking out my video here comparing the Nikon Z 14-24mm and the Nikon Z 20mm.